overview, GLONASS overview. The next comparison of GPS. After that, satellite navigation. Time GPS position calculation, GPS constellation, and operation segment. Up to operation segment we completed, right? So the elements of controlling segment or operation segment both are same only. Operation segment is in the sense control segment only. So the elements of this is you need to draw the block diagram. The examiner will ask the question, explain about operational segment or explain about control segment with a suitable diagram. Like that they will ask the question. So you need to draw the diagram, block diagram like these elements of control segment. Okay, if you draw the elements of control segment like this, then you need to explain separately monitoring station diagram like this, and you need to write at least a few 5 points, 5 main points from the monitoring station. After that, you need to draw master control station with diagram with proper explanation also. This master control station will be only control the whole operation of the GPS constellation. This only provide the commands and this only monitor the data. Okay, this only generates all. So under the guidance of this only, let us assume if you want to do the backup process means you have additional master control station, or you need to call alternate master control station. With the help of that only you need to do the fully backup position also. Then next is the ground antenna. So from this only you will able to send the commands, navigation data uploads, processor program loads, that and all. And for this ground antenna completely dedicated for satellites, and remaining we have plus 7 Air Force satellite control network remote tracking stations also available. Then next is the user receiving equipment. User receiving equipment. The GPS user segment. The GPS user segment consists of or consists on L-band radio receiver. The GPS user segment. The GPS user segment consists on L-band and L-band radio receivers or processors, and antennas which receive GPS signal, and antennas which receives GPS signals determine pseudo ranges. Determine pseudo ranges is called other observations, and solve the navigation equations, and solve the navigation equations in order to obtain their coordinates, and provide a very accurate time, A GPS receiver is a device. User receiving equipment is nothing but a GPS receiver. So in the name itself, general meaning, not from the second point, the name itself indicates that which receives the information. Here the GPS receiver means which will be receives the information from the GPS satellite. That is the basic general information what we have from GPS receiver. But coming to this user receiving equipment, GPS receiver is a device capable of processing the signal A GPS receiver is a device capable of processing the signal of GPS satellites and determining and determining the user position determining the user position, comma, velocity and precise time. The GPS satellite and determining the user position, velocity and precise time. You need to call PVT, precise time, user position, velocity. So all these are position means P, velocity means V, precise time means T, PVT. By processing the signal broadcasted by satellite. By processing the signal broadcasted by satellites. Any navigation solution provides by a GPS receiver. Any navigation solution which will be provided by a GPS receiver is based on the computation of a GPS receiver is based on the computation of its distance to set of satellites. Its distance to a set of satellites by means of extracting the propagation time of the incoming signals traveling through space at speed of light. The GPS receiver is based on computations of its distance to set of satellites. We have a set of satellites, right? We already discussed in the morning session GPS position calculation. So in that we have 4 GPS satellites. Yes or no? If you want to see that, you need to see, no problem at all. This here we have a set of satellites, GPS 1, GPS 2, GPS 3, GPS 4. So you need to calculate the distance from this set of satellites to GPS receiver. From one satellite to GPS receiver D1, the other second one GPS satellite to GPS receiver D2, like this. So we have a set of satellites. From set of satellites, we need to do the distance of set of satellites by means of extracting the propagation time of the incoming signals, by means of extracting the propagation time of the incoming signals traveling through space at speed of light. So according to the satellite and receiver local clock. So according to the clocks of the satellite and receiver, this incoming signals traveling through space at the speed of light. This is the user receiving equipment basic description. Then once the signal is acquired from the satellite, then you need to track once the signal is acquiring and tracked, the receiver application decodes the navigation message. The receiver application decodes the navigation message and estimates the user position. So once if you acquire the information from the satellite, you need to track the position of the object or target, and the receiver application decodes the navigation message whatever we receiving from the satellite and estimate the user position or receiver position where it is, right? And here we discussed this receiver application decodes the navigation message. So the navigation message includes first one, ephemeris parameters needed to compute the satellite's coordinates. The ephemeris parameters needed to compute the satellite coordinates. Second point, time parameter and clock corrections. To compute satellite clock offsets and time conversions. The time parameters and clock corrections to compute satellite clock offsets and time conversions. Then the third point is service parameters with satellite health information. We need to know what is the condition for service parameters with the satellite, whether those parameters are healthy or not. You need to take the healthy is in the sense whether it is the proper condition or not. Healthy means that only. Next, the fourth point is ionospheric parameters. Model needed for single frequency receivers, which is need for single frequency receiver, that ionospheric parameter. Then the fifth point, almanacs needed for the acquisition of signal, which is need for the acquisition of the signal by the receiver, which is need for the acquisition of the signal by receiver. It allows computing the position of all satellites. It allows computing the position of all satellites, but with a lower accuracy than the ephemeris. The ephemeris and clock parameters. Are usually updated every 2 hours. These two parameters are usually updated for every 2 hours. So until second are reaching, we have a older data only. That statement meaning that only. So while the almanac is updated at least every 60 days, ephemeris and clock parameters are usually updated every 2 hours, while the almanac is updated at least every 6 days. We need to update the almanac for at least every 6 days. It is the minimum. We need to update at least 6 days, every 6 days. The next, Space segment phase development. Space segment phase development. See, space segment phased space segment phase development. See, from this chart, we need to know it GPS evaluation to space segment. So how to GPS evaluate, that evaluation will goes to space segment means you need to see in the 1978 to 85. You have the you need to see this is the Rockwell from 1978 to 85. You need to assume that this is the block 1. So in that period, we have 11 satellites in the space. So in that stipulated period, the system have L1 navigation signal, we need to call CA, L1 and L2 navigation signals, we need to call P code, L1 and L2 in the sense. We need to use the pseudo randomized technique is P code. And the lifetime for this, the design lifetime for this is 5 years only. 5 years design lifetime is there for this block 1 system. Coming to block 2 or block 2 by block 2A. Block 2 or block 2A will start from 1989 to 1997. From 89 to 97. This is under service only. So in this, we have 28 satellites. Between in this period, we have 28 satellites. These 28 satellites will provide initial navigation capabilities. Initial navigation capabilities. And you need to study the service of these 28 satellites. We have a single frequency, C by A code navigation, precision science. We have a L1 and L2 frequencies, 2 carrier frequencies. We have a P code navigation, and which is valid for 7.5 years. That is the design lifetime. And reprogrammable navigation processor on block 2R. This is the reprogrammable navigation, comma processor on block 2R, block IIR. So the next generation is the block IIR only. Because of that reason, this is the second generation is reprogrammable one. Coming to the third one, Lockheed Martin from 1997 to 2004. From 1997 to 2004. So in this, we have a 13 satellites. Out of 13, we will able to use only 12. So that description is same. There is no change in that. We have a single frequency L1, and here we have a 2 carrier frequencies L1 and L2. P code navigation. This valid time is for this is 7.5 years. This is reprogrammable also. Then the next, the third one is Lockheed Martin from 2005 to 2009. Here we are using block IIR-M. Here we need to use 8 satellites in the space segment. Here we have a capabilities plus second civil signal L2. Second civil signal means L2C, which will be cover Earth. And here we are using M code on L1 and L2, or L1 or L2. L5 demo also available here. Anti-jam flex power is that if you are by using this satellites, we'll able to create anti-jam flex power, which is valid for 7.5 years design lifetime. Then the next one, the fifth generation is 2010 to present Boeing. Here we are using block IIF. So in this system we have a 12 satellites. This IIR-M capabilities plus third civil signal L5. By using this, we will able to increasing the accuracy requirement or accuracy, and the valid time for our lifetime for this is 12 years. Design lifetime is 12 years for this Boeing. And the last one is from 2014 to 2024. 2014 to 2024. Here we are using Lockheed Martin only again, block 3. This IIF capabilities plus increasing the accuracy, increasing the M code earth coverage power, fourth civil signal, and you need to increasing the integrity. The design lifetime for this is 15 years, 15. The design lifetime for this is 15 years. This is the space segment phased development chart. Space segment phased development chart. And the next is Gagan architecture. Gagan architecture. What is Gagan? First we need to know what is meant by Gagan. Gagan is an acronym for GPS aided geo augmented navigation. Gagan is an acronym for GPS aided geo augmented navigation. It is a space based augmentation system. It is a space based augmentation system, SBAS, jointly developed by ISRO and AAI. It is a space based augmentation system, SBAS, jointly developed by ISRO and AAI to provide the best possible navigational service. To provide the best possible navigational service over Indian FIR, flight information region. FIR is nothing but flight information region, with the capability of expanding to neighboring FIRs. This was to provide the best possible navigational services over Indian flight information region with the capability of expanding to neighboring FIRs. Neighboring FIRs. This Gagan is a system of satellites. This Gagan is a system of satellites and ground stations and ground stations that provide GPS signal corrections, giving you better position accuracy, giving you better position accuracy. This Gagan correct for GPS signal errors, which will be correcting the GPS signal errors caused by ionospheric disturbances, timing and satellite orbit errors. This Gagan correct for GPS signal errors caused by ionospheric disturbances, timing and satellite orbit errors, and also it provides vital information regarding the health of each satellite, and this will be provide the information regarding the condition. Health is in the sense condition, the health of the each satellite, whether it is under active condition or not. Like that we will able to check. This is the architecture of Gagan. See here we have how many GSATs we have. This is the GPS satellite. This is the Indian reference station. These two. This is the Indian land uplink station. GSAT 8, GSAT 10, GSAT 15. These are the GPS satellites. This is the user or receiver. This is the receiver receiving the information from the GPS satellites. This is the Indian Master Control Center. This will be controlling the entire operation of this Gagan architecture. You need to see the diagram carefully. Then the Gagan system consists of a network of 15 Indian navigational reference earth stations. We have 15 Indian navigational reference. We have 15 Indian navigation reference earth stations, IN or ES. The Gagan system consists of a network of 15 Indian navigation reference earth stations that are precisely surveyed. These 15 IN or ES are precisely surveyed to compare the position determined from GPS satellite signals against the location of the receiver. The observed deltas are then be sent to two Indian navigational to Indian Navigation Master Control Centers, where computer processing will extrapolate the data to generate correcting deltas for GPS signals anywhere within the network. Anywhere within the network. These correcting deltas will be relayed via 3 Indian navigation land uplink stations, what we have from the architecture, and geostationary satellites to civil aircraft, so more precise fixes of their positions can be derived from GPS satellite signals. The INRES, Indian Navigation Reference Earth Stations, sites and Indian Navigation Master Control Centers are connected using optical fiber cables. How you will able to make a connection between these? Means with the help of optical fiber cables only, you will able to making the connection. Coming to the architecture. So in the architecture, what we have? We need to see in that. We saw the already architecture diagram of Gagan. So in that, what we have? We need to write it here. So under the architecture, what we have? We need to write. So in that, the Gagan consists of two basic components. The Gagan consists of two basic components. The first one is space segment and the second one is ground segment. Space segment and ground segment. So under the space segment, we have two. The space segment consists of 3 geo satellites. 2 are operational, 1 to be launched. The space segment consists of 3 geo satellites, 2 are operational, the one more is launched one. And GPS constellation. So in the space segment we have GPS constellation and 3 geo satellites. Coming to ground segment, the ground segment consists of 4. One is Indian Navigation Indian Reference Stations. IERS means Indian Reference Stations, or else Indian Navigation Reference Earth Stations, and INMCC, Indian Navigation Master Control Centers, or Indian Master Control Stations. You need to call that also correct. Then the third one is INLUS, Indian Navigation Land Earth Uplink Stations. ES means uplink stations. This INL means Indian Navigation Land Earth Uplink Stations. Then the last one is TEC stations, Total Electron Content Stations. So we have a description for INRES, INMCC. This is the description where we have this INRES, where they established INMCC. See, the INREC collect the measures data and broadcast messages from all GPS and geo satellites in view and forward to Indian Master Control Center, and which is established in India only. The INMCC is established in Kundanahalli, Bangalore. Okay, so this and all we already discussed it, this and all. Okay, then INLUS and TAC. The INLUS receives correction. The INLUS receives correction messages from the INMCC, format those messages for GPS compatibility, and transmit them to geo satellites for broadcast to user platform. The INLUS is collected with INMCC at Bangalore. INLUS also provides geo satellite ranging information and corrections to the geo satellite clocks. And the message formats and timing will be according to the functional and performance specifications which are derived from MOPS. The TEC stations were installed to develop ionospheric model that adapts in the Indian subcontinent region. So this is the function of every component for first ground segment. This is the content of or function of every component. First ground segment, we need to see INRES, why you need to use that, what is the purpose? INMCC, what is the purpose? TEC, what is the purpose? INLES, what is the purpose? You need to read out the table carefully. Read out the table carefully. Read out each and every element and their purpose carefully. Okay, in the next class we will discuss the second unit revision.